Okay, this is trying to come on. Yes, good morning, Facebook. Thank you so much for joining. It's so good to have you here. Give us 2 minutes just so that Facebook can bring this video up and running. I'm looking for the video. Just give me 2 minutes. If you can see the video, come on in and just say a quick hello. I'll give us some thumbs up. I'm trying to find this video. Okay, I got it. Perfect. So I just need to put this on my guest page and we're about to get things started. Good morning. Welcome to the Civilized Presence. You are in the right place. Thank you for making out time to be here. I am so excited. I can see people joining. I am so sorry that we're a little late. We had some technical difficulties. I got all your messages. Everyone is asking, Louisa, where is the video? Now the video is here. Thank you. Just okay. So we're almost there. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you. Come on in and just say a quick hello and let us know where you're joining us from. This is really exciting. I'm so excited to just get things started. Just give us a moment. Facebook is doing its thing. We're using Zoom this morning, so a lot of you might be wondering what's going on, but we're using Zoom and we're gonna have fun this morning. So thank you. Thank you for being right here. Just come in and let me know where you're joining us from. Start up a watch party for us, okay? And our watch party is coming on shortly. So thank you. We're almost there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. I know you've been waiting for the past 20 minutes, but I am here now. It is the Civilized Presence. We're ready to roll. So welcome. Good morning. Now, Civilized Presence is an online TV session where lives are changed, where people discover their self, their purpose and voice, and learn social skills to thrive in the real world. And if you want to become a change maker, trust me, you are in the right place. Now, my name is Louisa Akaiso, and I'm going to be your host for today. I really feel so honored that you responded to the call, to the post on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm not sure how you found the video. Did someone invite you? Welcome. Are you here on replay? Welcome. You're watching this on YouTube. Welcome. Thank you. So usually we're here every Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern time, but we have special sessions because it's the month of July. So we've been extremely busy in the month of July. I've been doing a lot of sessions in the class, but the show has to go on. And so we try to put in the sessions when we're able to. And Mr. Akinropo, I think we have some feedback from you. Do you have another system right beside you that is on? There's some feedback.
Okay, yes, there's another laptop.
Okay.
No, we're going to switch it off. We're going to switch it off.
No, you could turn down the volume and we should be fine. If you turn down the volume,
okay,
that's fine.
Okay,
so some of you might be asking, what does she do? I am a certified master civility trainer and a leadership coach and expert with the John Maxwell team. I work confidently with leaders and professionals that place great importance in themselves and their reputation. And of course, that's going to be you this morning because you made out time to be here. So thank you so much. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for your support. Without you, the show will not go on. Now, the main focus of this Facebook series, or sometimes we're on Instagram, is really to help restore civility in our society. And I've been doing this from last year in the month of April. I haven't been working alone. I've been working with different experts, professionals, and leaders from all over the world, just really trying to break down the concept of civility into tiny bits and really showing you how easy it is, but important for you to be civil. And if you've been hanging out with me, you would learn that I encourage you to begin with little things like saying please and thank you, or even good morning. or share a compliment, just like I'm going to do that this morning with Mr. Akinropo. It's so good to have you here this morning, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now,
thanks for the invite.
Let me share with you a definition of civility, one that I love very much, and it's pretty easy to remember, and that's from Dr. Pierre Funny. And this states that being civil, it means being constantly aware of others and weaving restraint, respect, and consideration into this very fabric of awareness. So civility is a form of goodness. It is gracious goodness. Civility is being responsible for your actions. It is focused on positive people's treatment. Civility is just really choosing positive behaviors with positive values. Just paying attention to the person next to you. You might want to think about the golden rule if that works for you. But it's always important, what we're doing here really is to get you to embrace at least one definition of civility, no matter how simple it is, and be able to apply it. And so this is why we get this repeated over and over again and share different ones. And I'm sure that you should be able to go home with something. So now, some of you might have seen the topic of the day, maybe not. If you haven't, well, the topic of today is civility and fatherhood, the expectations of a total dad. I thought that was such a great topic. I really love this topic because, of course, it's one that touches my heart, but it's one that affects everyone. And welcome, Kathy. It's great to have you. Welcome, Ariel. It's great to have you. Christine, thank you for being here. Arlene, thank you for being here. Quinta, thank you so much for being here. Idel, thank you so much for being here. AZ from Canada, thank you for being here. Audrey, it's good to have you. Thank you so much. Wenger, blessing. Thank you so much for being here. Joy, it's good to have you. Thank you for making our time to be here. So I'm just going to give a moment to our guest this morning to just say hello to the audience. Over to you.
Hello, audience over there from all over the world. My name is Akinropo Akinola. I'm a parenting development expert. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. So today, I really want to appreciate what Louisa is doing for the humanity, just to make sure that everybody in the world behaves well. It's a program that cuts across the spheres of influence. I have joined this program some time ago, and I've listened to them, the people that are here. She has brought a lot of people from various fields, professionals. So that is what civility is all about. Just to teaching people on how to behave well and to behave in a civilized manner to everyone around. So today, we're having the topic on parenting, a critical aspect in parenting, which is fatherhood. So what is expected of us as fathers in parenting? How can we raise a total child? How can we raise our children in order to grow up to be adjusted adults? Well, when I use the word adjusted adults, because I know that not every one of people that we have around here can actually behave the same way we are. So, but the only thing that we can do is like every child, every adult to a child, meaning that is how we can have a civilized society. Adjusted adult, meaning that
we're losing you for a minute.
We are not the only one in that environment. Even though I raised my child very well, I don't know how the other neighbor is going to raise his or her child or the children. That's why. Hello?
We're losing you for a minute.
Hello, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we're losing you. Can you try again? The last sentence, we're losing you.
I can hear you clearly. Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I don't think that, can you try again? Just go for it again.
Okay, last test of a total, okay. I was trying, the joy of fatherhood is to raise adjusted adults in an environment. I use the word adjusted in the sense that no matter how solid, how good, how well we raise our children, they don't own the environment. The environment is peopled by various set of people around, which are raised, who are raised with different values. And that's why I take the word from the word of Hillary Clinton when she said sometimes ago that no child, no society is insusceptible to the larger influence of the entire society. And I did say the other time, I said, what I'm actually telling people to do, that I always say in my parenting journey, is every adult to a child, meaning that if every one of us can actually collaborate together, then the world will be a safer place. And that is why I really appreciate what you are doing, Louisa, in a way, just to bring the whole society in a civilized manner. And I did say that you have brought many people, many professionals on this show. You brought people from banking, from businesses, from homes, and from areas, just because you want a civilized society. And when we're talking about civilized society, every father should be interested in that. So today, the topic of fatherhood that is being brought to the limelight is a welcome one from the Civilized Presence crew. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction, and welcome, Joanne. It's great to have you in the house. Guys, come on in to the video and just let us know where you're joining us from. Kiki, it's good to have you. Judith, it's good to have you. Jackie, it's good to have you. Thank you so much for making our time to be here. Janet, it's good to have you. Let us know where you're joining us from. It's the Civilized Presence. You are in the right place. The topic of today is civility and fatherhood, the expectations of a total dad. Are you a father, or do you have a father around you? Or, of course, or do you have a father? Everyone does have a father. We've been brought up to, with our fathers. I want to believe so. Or you've lived with a father figure before. And so we all do have challenges. We all do have those things that we feel did not work out well. And sometimes we find people are stuck in that forever and believing that I could have been better if my father was better. And that's why we're having the conversation this morning. So come on in, bring your questions, because the expert is in the house. Of course, we're ready to work with you, and he would be happy to answer all of the questions for you. So, Mr. Akinropo, how this works really is to get started with the questions. And of course, we begin the conversation. But first of all, let me read your bio to the audience. It's important that they know who you are and that you are an authority to be discussing this topic. So Akinropo, Mr. Akinola, is an NLP, which is expert. He is also a public speaker. He is a trainer, business stroke educational consultant, and a child care, parenting, and family advocate. Mr. Akinola, if I don't get it right, please forgive me, is a passionate catalyst for change, who has the mandate to increase the quality of parenting and the methodology of nurturing African children, as well as families, into greatness while maximizing their full potential. His track record on advocacy on parenting can be traced across sectors, following the need to consolidate diverse projects, efforts, and intervention within the parenting space. His work with several families and youth has earned him a respectable place within education and society. He is the author of the fast-growing inspired work tool for fathers to raise real men in today's boys. Daddy, where are you? His latest tool work for mothers, Mommy, No Excuses, is a book that focuses on mothers to know and have the strategies in complementing and not competing with their husband in parenting and marriage, the ways for them to stay full and free. He is the founder and lead researcher, Parent Mark School of Parenting, and he has been involved in youth counseling before he was called into parenting ministry. So he's also a member of Nigeria Institute of Management, and which is he's chartered in that institute. So welcome, Mr. Akinropo. It's so good to have you. Sekoni, it's great to have you here. Adenike, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. So we're just going to begin with the very first question for you this morning. And that would be, what does civility mean to you? Some people call it civility, etiquette, manners. What does it mean to you? Because somebody's going to have to learn from you. And I always give an opportunity for my audience to share something because I learn from everyone every day. So over to you.
Okay. Well, civility in parenting or civility in fatherhood?
Civility on its own. What does it mean to you?
Okay, civility on its own. Following what you've been saying when you started this, I never thought someone could actually pick it up, as an advocate, in that line. But, when you say that, something is actually lacking in the society and somebody takes it up, that's when the person now begins to open our eyes to some areas we never bothered to look into before. So going about that, civility to me, in a civilized environment, we are talking about constantly behaving in a more appropriate way, constantly behaving, with your value along the line. Sometimes ago, let me just cite an example as a parent and as a father. Something happened between me and my son, and he began to ask some questions. What happened? He was supposed to do something for his mom, and he said he wasn't going to do it. He replied to mom. Mom said, why? He told the mom that, don't worry, can you just give me like 2 or 3 hours that I'm going to do it? But my wife insisted that you must do it now. He didn't do it. So when I came back, my wife told me what the boy said. And I asked the boy, why did you say no to your mom? And the boy replied that, Dad, I only told my mom to give me like 2-3 hours that I'm going to do it. After all, you're my dad, you have delayed a promise before for like 2 days. And guess what? And I asked, what is the promise that I delayed? And there was a time I told them a week earlier, I was going to take them to see a movie, but along the line, I couldn't do it. So what happened? Because I took ill. And I told my son that it's because I took it, that's why I couldn't do it. And my boy told me that, fine, understood. You couldn't do it because you were ill, but at the same time, you've given me an impression that I can equally postpone any request as well. So I just looked at my wife. I said, well, this boy has a point, because I've given him a kind of negative experience, even though through a positive thing that happened to me, not necessarily intention. I wasn't so intentional to give him that negative experience, but because of what happened to me, I gave the guy a negative experience, and he's now using the same thing, to attack, to hunt us. I told my wife, I said, I'm sorry for this thing that happened. And I spoke to my son. Immediately, I told my son that I am sorry, the fact that I couldn't do this thing for 2 days, but this is what happened. He said, okay, no problem. Now, Daddy, I will go and do it, because now you know your fault. You are the one that showed me that I can postpone. So in that light, I displayed civility to the boy, because immediately I own up to my mistake. And immediately after we settled that thing, and I told the boy and the sister that I will never in any way promise you until few minutes or few seconds that I know that I'm going to do that. So in that regard, I've been able to express to the family what civility is all about. Mostly, years back, 15, 20, 30 years ago, a father in that light could actually spank the boy. Now, what do you mean? What authority do you have to challenge what I do? I'm the father, I'm the head in this house. So when we're talking about being a father, we're talking about being an adult around the child. We must, in a way, show them what civilized environment is all about. We must show them what it means to be civil in society. And one of the core expectations of fathers to be civil, the way they deal with their children, the way they deal with the wife, the way they deal with themselves, is to own up when they make any mistakes. I think that is one of the ingredients of being civil in the society and in the house.
Thank you so much. It is so good how you've been able to express that. So it's all about being responsible for our actions. And that's so important because you cannot give out what you do not have.
No, you
And this
can't.
is something that we talk about all the time on the show, that parents, there is no hiding place for parents anymore. You have to be the change that you want to see in your child. And so that's such a great example. And thank you so much for sharing that. I just loved what you just shared. So this takes us to the next question for you. Data, of course, shows us that the fathers today work as much as they did or work even more than they did before in the workplace. So how can fathers be able to strike a balance between spending time in the workplace and working in the home? Over to you, Mr. Akinlola.
Okay, thank you for that question. But let me say this. If you ask any average father, especially in Africa, they will always tell you that they're responsible and do the way they run the affairs of the home. I mean, they have to make sure the business side does not even suffer for it, even though while they are still making themselves present, available, even committed, involved in the house. But let me say this. Most of fathers, everybody, it's possible that we can be sincerely wrong. It's possible we can be sincerely wrong. Let me drive my point home with this short story. There was a boy sometimes ago. The boy had, the boy wanted to raise a butterfly in an environment. Then he packed the larval stage, he monitored the larval stage, monitored everything up to that stage. I mean, up to the larval stage. But the boy couldn't really wait enough just for the butterfly to come out of the cocoon. So the boy was being sincere, just like a father, a parent will be sincere. So what did he do? When he couldn't wait again, he just took a sharp object, like a blade, tore the cocoon open. And by the time the young butterfly came out of the cocoon, it was badly damaged. So to the extent that by the time the butterfly began to grow, it couldn't fly very well because the wings had been pierced because of the sincerity or the wrong aspect of being sincere on the part of the boy that raised the butterfly. So it couldn't fly the way it should. And the growth of that butterfly was hindered just because of what the boy did. So the same thing, a lot of us fathers this day, we can actually be sincerely wrong. So driving further, that I'm going to, I've modeled some points under what father is all about. Father. So the first one is focus. Every father must be focused. You must be focused, and you must fight for the family. So when you have those things as part of as your guidelines, there is no way, regardless of the fact that you worked in overnight, regardless of the fact that, because of your business engagement, you are not always going to be there 24/7, 24 hours. United States of America, Malaysia, every area. The first thing a father must do is to remain focused. What is being focused? Being focused is like you are giving the clear direction of what you want to do. In that area, let me cite another example. Maybe like 5 years ago, I had challenge. Meeting my family. Not that I'm not at home. I'm always at home. But all these things that we call family meeting, the family altar, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 7 a.m., like that. My children don't just follow that. Once they know that, it just discover that once I am reading in the night around 11:30, 12:30, 1 a.m. thereabout, that was when my daughter would wake up. Immediately my daughter wakes up like that, she comes to meet me and she just throws in one topic for us to discuss about. So from there, I just knew that this is the opportunity for me to discuss anything that I want to, the positive value I really want to imbibe, I want to reinforce my daughter with. Do you understand? So from there, I knew that I've gotten a way out of my supposed busy schedule. So my boy, the same thing. I know when to take the boy out. So once a father is focused, once you can give a fight, you have to raise them, you have to raise the children for them to be able to fight for themselves. So regardless of the fact of the busy appointment, busy schedule that you have, the first thing a father must do is to, first of all, draw the plan for the house. In drawing the plan for the house, that means that you have to have not without any constitution to raise your children, to raise your household with. That boy that was raising butterfly, committed. You are sincere anyway, because if you ask any father, no father is sincere, but we can be sincerely wrong if we don't have what is called that focus. I mean, that would represent the first figure in fatherhood. If time will permit me, and I'll go further again. The second one is A. The first one, F, which is focus, and you must train the children to fight for themselves. You must train the children, I mean, the family, the household, even the wife, to be able to fight, because you are not always going to be there. So the second one is accept. Every father must be able to accept the good or bad of the child, the good or bad of the children, the good or bad of the wife. That is why you are there. Regardless, I keep saying this, of your busy schedule, you have no right. And that is the problem some of us faced when we were growing up. Our fathers then, they were not armed themselves with what is called emotional intelligence now. They were so sincere. I love them. I love those fathers then. They were so sincere. But they lack what is called, the knowledge of what is called emotional intelligence. So that's why when a father heard then that maybe a child committed one offense, did something wrong or bad, that's when we get to hear this message, this statement coming out of the fathers that I disown you. Just because of what they did. That is not supposed to be. Good or bad of the outcome of what the child, of they are going through at that particular time. I tell parents that no child is bad. No child is a good boy. Every child is onto a journey of what we call perfection, a journey of adjusted adults. So I don't know whether I can just still hold on, or you want me to finish the modeling of father.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, let me just go ahead. Okay, now the third one, which is T. Every father should be able to train the child for the sake of what? For the sake of heritage. The other time I made mention of what is called a constitution. That is the first thing the father should have. You must be focused by having the direction. How do you have a direction into a constitution? Once a father has that, then you are going to train everyone under you. You train your wife, you train your children, you train the entire household. For Christian faith, and that's why we have what is called Bible. God created every one of us in his image. And when we are being created in the image of God, God did not just leave us like that without having a manual to guide. God gave us the manual, what is called Bible, the scripture. So every one of us will follow through what God has given unto us to train us. The same way, every father must be able to have that constitution in the house. It is through that constitution that the children, the wife, are going to be trained. So when you think of all these things, when you think acceptance, then you think of training, none of the job, none of any busy schedule be able to hinder or hamper you in the way you should raise your children very well. Then the age there does the job of headship, and honor. When we talk about headship as a father, what does it mean? Let me start an example. God gave an account of Abraham. God said he knew Abraham will raise his children after him. After the commandment of God. Not until when he has done that, the promises God has given to Abraham will not come to fruition. Do you understand? But now, when we talk about the headship now, there is a confirmation, there is an affirmation, and there is a kind of a temper from God about Abraham. When God told Abraham this thing, when he was making a kind of confirmation, affirmation of him, Abraham didn't have any child then. So Abraham is being confirmed as the headship of the family, just on account of how knowledgeable, how focused is going to be, then how he's going to accept the household and how he's going to train the children very well. Fathers must be able to have the capacity to be the headship. You are the head of the house, not by mouth alone. You are the head of the house, not because you have the capacity to provide for the money, to provide for the resources. Someone said sometimes ago, I think it's Olakunle that said it, that some people, that the only thing that they can boast of is just the money. In every other thing, they lack. They lack every other thing. So fathers must not be able, they mustn't just have the money alone. They're not just the headship of the family because of the money they have, but because of the total control of the house. When they show up like this, children must be able to say, oh, my dad is around. They must be able to open up their dad, whether they had a kind of bad experience, whether they had a kind of good experience. When a child fails, children must be able to come boldly to their dad, that dad, this is exactly what happened. Though I tried, even though I didn't try, but they must be able to be open to the fathers and come to them. That is the authority of being the head of the house. Then the experience. There is no way you can trade away this. Father must be experienced, there must be energy, and there must be engagement. Experience that we're talking about does not just come by what you've been raised with alone. No, those experiences can actually distort the way you're going to raise the children that we are having now. Being experienced in a way is through knowledge. Being experienced in a way is through association. And being experienced again is through what we call, the program that we are doing now, civility in parenting, or the civilized society. I cite my example. If I really want to use my experience to raise my children, I don't think any of my children will have been in the house now. But what did I do? I knew where I was coming from. I knew how I was raised, and I knew what I went through while through my teenage year, my youthful year. So when I realized all those things, I submitted myself to proper scrutiny. I submitted myself to proper scrutiny just for me to gain experience, the now experience that is needed to raise the generation of the children that we're having now. I submitted to training, all those training, the certifications that I have. Through that one, when you get the experience, there's going to be a deeper energy for you to do great and mighty works for the sake of the children. When you have the energy inside of you, there's going to be a meaningful engagement. I tell parents, I tell fathers, that it's not going to be any meaningful engagement, that it's not going to be any meaningful involvement, any meaningful commitment if our fathers in the house lack what is expected of them. Being in the house 24/7 does not change the course of your children if you are not armed with necessary content. And that's why they begin to tell us that, hey, Daddy, what are you doing? Are you not going out? But when you are armed with necessary experiences, when you know what the children want, then the experience is there, energy is there, then you'll be able to engage them. Then the last one, resourceful. Fathers must be resourceful. The resourceful comes before resources, which is going to give you the rest. How can fathers be resourceful? A lot of things that we do as fathers, we just, what we call in this part of the world, a fire brigade approach. Fire brigade approach, meaning that we act after the deed has been done. We are not so much proactive, we are reactive. So being resourceful is you having the capacity to be able to predict the future of the children. It's for you to be able to predict even any disobedience, in quote, that may likely come from the children, that may likely come from the wife. Fathers must be able to know that they have three ministries in one. One of the ministries they have is the self-ministry, which is called self-mastery. The second one is the ministry of fatherhood. Then the third one is the ministry of husbandhood. So when you have
We kind of lost you there. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
the rudiment of
We
knowledge
lost you. We
acquisition.
lost you for a moment. Can you go back on the last sentence? Just the last sentence.
And the last sentence, what I'm talking about, I was talking about being resourceful.
Yes.
Okay. I said resourcefulness comes before resources, which will then give you the rest. So being resourceful, meaning that fathers must be able to know, must be able to have the capacity to predict ahead of time any challenge the parent, any challenge the wife, any challenge the children may be able to do. And I did say some of us fathers, we are only reactive, we are not proactive. We react after the deed has been done. Well, when a father is being resourceful, he has the capacity to predict the challenges. He has the capacity to predict at the same time the plausible solution for any problem that may come thereafter. So that is when the resources will not come. God spoke about Abraham. He knew he would do this. So Abraham was already armed with resources to be able to train his children very well. And how do you get that? By fathers themselves, they must subject themselves for proper training. When you do that, then you can be so sure of rest at old age. A lot of fathers, even at 55 and 60, they still run after the children because a lot of things we failed to do when we were 30, when we were 40. So those things will always bring problems to the home. So it is not about whether I am busy. It's not about of the engagement. It's not about the businesses will not allow me, to go through, will not allow me to have time for my children. The first thing you must do before you come to fatherhood is to be focused. Why are you coming to fatherhood? Are you coming to fatherhood because you see most of your mates are already giving birth? You see most of your mates, maybe your parents are already telling you that they need to see their grandchildren on time. If anyone has gone into fatherhood like that, that will always be a problem. So if you are not focused, you will not be able to know how to teach the children. You will not be able to know how to even hold the entire household in a way, how to fight for themselves when they're out. Then the second one, acceptance.
We just lost you there. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? So guys, welcome everyone who is just coming in. I have Eno. Welcome from
difficult.
Thank you so
much. For you
to
train a child that you did not know.
Okay, we lost you for a moment. We're going to have to come back to that point. And let me just go back to the audience and welcome Eno. It's great to have you. Welcome Sister Dulcie. It's good to have you. Ambassador Juma, thank you for being here. SC Okwat, thank you so much for being here. It's the Civilized presence. Welcome, Sarah. It's good to have you. We are here every Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern time. But for the month of July, we've been having different schedules because, of course, the month of July is an extremely busy month where we get to work with the children outside of the classroom. So I have been doing a lot of work with the young people, but of course the message is still very important. So the show has to go on and we will bring in the message at other times. So please pay attention to our posts. Don't just wait for it on Mondays and Fridays. Yes, we will be here on Mondays and Fridays, but we're also going to have other times. The focus this month is really on effective parenting and youth development. So we're trying to bring in as much content for you. And the topic of today is civility and fatherhood. So are you just joining us now? Are you a father? Have you fathered a child before? Do you have a father around you? Please share this video with every father. Invite them to be part of what we're doing. Of course, we all have a father. Everyone does have a father, whether you're living with them or not. But you had a father at some time in your life. And you know that fatherhood is so important in the life of a child. It's so important. And I still find that a lot of parents or a lot of fathers are still struggling with what they should be doing. Some fathers just believe that their responsibility is to provide financial support. And so this is why we're having this conversation. Listen, money can be gotten from anywhere. You need to be present in the home. Gone are the days when fathers could just walk in and out at any time and leave their kids for mothers and leave their kids for the teachers. But we want fathers to be a lot more involved. And, research has proven this. So it's really not Louisa saying it. You can go on the internet and type in fathers and the role of fathers, and everyone is complaining. So this is a topic that affects every family. Okay, so invite more people to be part of this and share this on your page. This is going to take me to my next question for you, Mr. Akinola. And of course, we've been working with a parenting expert who has designed a system, a training system. He has resources, he has books, he has great contents to help you become that father that seemed impossible. So are you struggling with fatherhood? You need some help. Back in the days, our parents believed that if you brought the child to the world, then you're just the right father. But now we've found that fathers, the media has become fathers to children. The celebrities have become fathers to children because you're not spending enough time with your kids. And so your kids have stepped out to adopt a father on the screen. So what are you doing? If you are not present in the life of that child, you do not have a right to call yourself a father. I'm so sorry that I'm going to be very harsh this morning, but we have to address this because it's affecting the society. So fatherhood, bring in your questions and let us talk about it. Fathers must be involved. Parenting is not the work of the mom. We need to cut off from that. Scratch that. If you had that sometime in your brain, take it off. That doesn't work. You have to be part of what is happening in the home. You have to be able to have a conversation with your kids, be able to communicate with them, make out time for them. Because if you look at majority of us, if we look at our past and how we grew up, how are you going to be a good example to the children? And try to read books. Mr. Akinola has got a great book, Where is Your Father? He has a great book that's going to help you. So if you've not been present in the home, if you do not know what you should be doing in the home, because I find that a lot of men are very bored in the home. So it's like we rather spend our time outside and come in when it's time to eat. No, that's not what you want to do. So you're going to be part of their homework. You're going to be part of having a conversation. Different stages of the child requires different kind of responsibilities from you. So beginning from today, you might not like me very much beginning from today, but that's okay. As long as we make the right impact, we cannot babysit fathers anymore. Fathers, we want to see more of you. Welcome, my friend Sikani. We want to see more of you in the home doing the work. And this is going to take me to my next question for you. Now, I was talking about how there's a lot of research, a lot of content talking about fathers and what's happening and what people are complaining of. But the interesting thing that I found when I was preparing for this session is that children whose fathers are actively involved do better in school, have fewer problems in terms of behavior, getting into trouble, getting arrested, or maybe into drugs. And so those kind of children will try to persist through their high school graduation, go on to college, and build more stable relationships. So you being an expert, what's your take on this? Do you think that this report is actually right? Over to you.
Okay, thank you about that report. I think I believe so much in that report, and I will always cite example because of what I have gone through, what I do with my children. Sometimes ago, about 2 years ago, I followed my daughter to the prize giving day, and she got two awards. Then again, some of the children there, they got like 4, 5, 6, and when we were going into the car, I just saw my daughter wasn't happy. What's the problem? I said, no, the awards you have is okay. I said, no, Daddy, it's not about the award. that she won is about her friend. What is the problem with her friend? She now pointed to me where the dad of the friend was actually scolding the friend. I mean, what's the problem? And the problem basically is because the friend only was able to get one award, just one award, and the father wasn't so. I mean, the father, was lamenting that of all the money that I spent, it's only just one award you were able to get, while other children there, I mean, they had about 8, 9. They made their father proud. You see what you did. I felt terribly bad. I didn't go. If it were to be about 9 years ago, I would have gone to meet the man that you don't do that. I just sat down and I tried to see what happened thereafter. Guess what? A year after, my daughter told me that girl went from being somewhere above average, I mean, lower average now, just because of singular action of her dad. And the girl confided in my daughter that she doesn't think that she has anything to offer her dad again. But after all, I tried, but see what so the girl just left like that, just living her life. So it is easier. I mean, it is possible with that research that fathers that are involved, fathers that are committed, their children are able to turn out well in life. That is one of the aspects of it. That's about the academics. Let's talk about the life in itself. Our children watch us. They know how fathers talk, how fathers speak to their wives. A lot of fathers will shout at our wives before the children. A lot of us fathers will lie to children about our wives. A lot of us don't even see anything good at all in the life of our children. And that is why I'm so sorry to say this as well. I think the generations that's why now maybe you see some newly wedded couple, 2, 3, 4 years down the line of marriage, recently they divorce. I mean, a lot of things just come into play. Most of our boys have not actually been taught been taught to have what I call a coping skill, how to handle a woman. Most of the boys that we have today, they walk out easily of argument. They walk out easily of trouble. No, it shouldn't be. Our job is to get involved, to get committed, and tell them alternative dispute resolution, how issues are being resolved. Issues are not being resolved by beating, by kicking, by slapping, by shouting. No, as someone rightly said, that it is not the thunder that makes the plant to grow. It is the rain that falls on the plant that makes it to grow. When rain comes, sometimes rain does not even come and it comes unannounced. But when a thunder strikes, everybody will always know. It's not the work, it's the job of the thunder, it's the job of the rain. So all those things they see us do, the same thing is going to have a ripple effect when they begin to raise their children, and then the civility that we're talking about is going to really fade off if fathers now. That's why I'm challenging every father here present, every father that is watching this, even as we're sharing it. I want us to go back home and take the stock of our life. This is the period this is holiday. About 2 months, these children are going to be with us. I have seen some children, I've handled some children that turned down the multi-million vacation budget of their dad to them. They told their dad that no, they don't need the money, they need you. So not needing you alone, but you must be able to have the right content, because some fathers will just say that, we read many cases, we have case studies about all this, that, they say I should sit at home with you people. And now I'm at home. Before you know it, they say father has slept off, or the children have slept off, or the children just left the dad there because the dad lacked the right content. To engage the children with. So I support wholeheartedly that report. The research that came out that fathers that are involved, that are committed in the life of their children turn out well. Their children are civilized. It will take a lot of remodeling, a lot of engagement, a lot of mind renewal for someone that lacked what we call father figure to turn out to be well. At times, I challenge my wife. I tell my children, I don't even know how I am like this in fatherhood. because I wasn't raised like that. My dad was never available. He was sincere. He will always provide this, but he wasn't the one that taught me how to be a good father. It was when I started growing up and I knew the challenge and I knew what I had in my front. I subjected myself to proper scrutiny. Then that one led me to training, and I'm still training, retraining myself. A lot of toxic developments in my life that I was raised with. Everything, not every one of them will not go in one day. You know, by the time you begin to renew your mind every day, you begin to share that we can't continue like this with the way we raise our children. Time is not waiting for anybody. We shouldn't wait till our children, when they get to like 25, 30, they now begin to enroll themselves in another school, in a life school. What are fathers doing? Our job as a trainer, our job as coaches is to give them the life skill to cope with, so that in the next 10 years, they will look back, thank God for my dad for doing a perfect job. Even the wives, because I tell people that that child, that son, those sons that you have, they are somebody's husband, and at the same time, they are somebody's son's in-law. What do you want people to say? How do you want them to experience? How do you want them to behave? What do you want the life of your children by the time they begin to set up their home? Do you want them to continue like that? Let me cite one example. That one is being told by one of my coaches. So I'm citing the example he gave us. One of the classes that I was about 4 years ago is about two families. The husband was raised perfectly by the parents, and his father told him that, see, anytime you're having any argument with your wife, by the time you get married, because women are prone, to have their, to shout at the top of their voice, because of their emotional status. The father told him that, please quit the room. Don't ever argue with your wife. Don't ever. By the time you leave the place for a while, then come back. Everything should have been normal. The wife, will have been okay. But guess what? A problem ensued in the house. And the husband, because of what his father raised him, the value his father raised him with, the husband just went into the house, locked himself in the room and slept off. Guess what? The wife ran out because the wife thought her husband was going to bring out Cain or beg, because that was how her own father raised her. Anytime they were having any problem, her own father and mother was having any problem, until the father beat the mother will not keep quiet. So immediately the husband retreated to the room. The wife thought the father was going to, her husband was going to take a belt to beat her. So you can see how civility is being molded in the life of that husband, right from when he was a baby, when he was a child, up to the point he was a teenager and became youth when he was about to get married. So that is what involvement can do. We must be able to involve, and when you are being involved, make sure you are involved with what we call, your involvement has the aura of civilized presence.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that example. That makes a lot of sense. And welcome, Audrey. It's good to have you here, my sister. Welcome, Nikki from Canada. It's good to have you. Thank you. It's the Civilized Presence. Sister Muti, it's so good to have you here. Thank you. That's my GMT family, right from Nigeria. I'm so honored that you made out time. Welcome, Vivi. It's good to have you. Thank you so much. So the conversation today is civility and fatherhood. Now, are you struggling in the area of parenting as a father? Do you have a brother? You have an uncle? You have someone who is struggling? We're sharing really great content this morning that's going to help them to become an effective father in their home. And we have a parenting expert with us, Mr. Akinola, of course, who has shared with us that it's so important for fathers to be involved and engaged with their children in the home. Try to have a conversation with them, try to communicate with them. And it's also good enough that if you do not have the right resources, you can get some training. There is nothing wrong with you getting some kind of training, buying books, whatever is going to help you. because you do not want to use your father's formula in your family. You might fail woefully because I don't know who your father was. Maybe he wasn't the right leader. He tried to bring you up. So you can imagine you are the product of your father. Are you at your best state to take care of the people after you? Think about it. And so there's trainings now, there are workshops, there are programs, whether online, in class. You can work with Mr. Akinola on this. And so if you want to just get started with whatever programs that he has, he's able to help you. You can get his book. I think that is a must read for every father. He was able to just kind of break down the concepts of fatherhood so easy that everyone should be able to get something. Because I mean, the book was so great. It shows you great ways to raise up the child, to groom that child. And welcome, Trent. It's great to have you. Welcome, Basi. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. The conversation today is civility and fatherhood. And I'm so excited we have so many men in the house. So I'm so honored that you made out time to be here. But it is so important that we discuss this because you find that a lot of people, sometime in their lives, come up with excuses. Oh, I didn't have a good upbringing. My father was never present, and this is my excuses for doing this. We don't want to have a broken future.
No.
And it's so difficult to mend fathers. So let's begin from now. What are you doing? What is the change that you want to see in your children? It's just not going to happen. You have to be involved in it. Please, you have to be involved. It's the holiday season right now. Make out time. You might be busy with work. I know you're going to work. I know you have your business. I know you're doing so much outside, but make out that time. Maybe it's the time on the table. Maybe it's dinner time. Whatever is going to work for you. Let us work together. We have the contents. If you want us to help you, we have coaches that can work with you. So my final question for you, just because we're running out of time, is that, sometimes when I've had conversations with parents, the interesting thing is that some parents would say that, mothers and fathers parent slightly differently. And that's supposed to be an excuse. Now, even the mothers have accepted that is not the place of the child to raise the kids. Yes, the mothers have accepted. The mothers have accepted. That's the painful thing. So I just want you to speak back to the audience. What do you think about this? Like, I mean, should fathers parent differently from mothers? Are there certain discussions? Are there certain aspects in the home that is just for the mothers alone, designed for the mothers? I know everyone says that the mother has a place in the kitchen. That's okay. But in North America, fathers cook too. But I think sometimes it has to do with the culture and it has to do with the beliefs. It has to do with the upbringing. And so you begin to think that because you're a man, you should not be found in the kitchen. And that's okay. Now, what parts, is it true that there are certain aspects that fathers should not be involved in? And you being the parenting expert, I want you to talk to us about that. Over to you, Mr. Akinola.
Okay, thank you about the question, but let me tackle that one from there. And I'm so glad that you mentioned it's about culture, tradition, and belief system. I tell people that no belief system, no culture or tradition is without the input of those people that handed it over to us. Some of them, they inherited it. Some of them have molded it, and some of them have twisted it. So when people say culture, it's not out of place. When they say tradition, it's not out of place that we too can actually take that tradition or culture now. One of them is, I don't think it is proper to say men are not supposed to be in the kitchen. It's the job of the women to be there. No, I knew that thing from my son a while ago, and I made sure that I corrected that thing, and he never made that mistake again. So there is no so perfect, perfectly designed job that is meant for fathers in parenting. Neither is there any perfectly designed job that is made for mothers in parenting, because we have some single parents. that are doing the both job of the father figure and the mothers in the house. We have them, and it's because they've equipped themselves in that light. But what we preach is this: in as much the husband and the wives are together, it is their responsibility to see to the well-being of the children. How they are going to distribute the job, the assignment is now left for them. But be that as it may, I still say that some areas of job, some aspects that sons will have to, that fathers have to model in the life of the sons, that one remains sacrosanct. It is basically not the job of the mother to do that. And at the same time, there are some areas that mothers still have to model in the life of the girls as well, which fathers cannot actually do. So that is why I did that. We wrote that book. One is Daddy, Where Are You? Then the second one, Mommy, No Excuses, meaning that now daddies have shown up. Mommy, no excuses. And I did say the job, that seeks to seek the relevance, not out of being in a competition with the husband, but just to complement the job and the work the fathers do in parenting. So I am an advocate of civility in unity in the life of couples, fathers and mothers. There is no particular job for fathers to do, neither is there any particular job for mothers to do, because by the time we begin to segregate or separate the job, it's so possible. That's why you get to see some mothers that say that I have done my own. And that's even one of those reasons why that book came into being. Daddy, Where Are You? I see some fathers, even I've seen them in the past, and I still see them now, that anyway, I've provided all the money in the house. No excuse. These children, they must come out fine. I've seen fathers that are fighting the mothers just because the children didn't turn out well, especially academically. And fathers are so quick to say they have the money, they provided the money. No, it is not so. Beyond the money that you give in the house, the money is given. Kudos to you. We thank God for what you do, for providing the money. But please, you need to do beyond that, because your sons are watching. That child, that son is watching, and it's going to be somebody else's husband, and it's going to be somebody else's son-in-law. So the job is collaboration. There is no segregation. There is no competition. It is 100% of the husband, then the 100% of the wife, just for the betterment of the children that God has given them to raise.
Thank you so much, and welcome, Wendell. It's great to have you. Welcome, Wendy. That's another parenting expert. It's so good to have you in the house. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is such a great session today. I have a lot of parenting coaches in the house, and they're just here and just excited, and really all of the work that you all are doing. I want to say thank you so much, because of course the world needs you now more than ever before. So the conversation this morning is civility and parenthood. If you're just joining us, I don't want to say you're late to the party, because you're going to have access to the video on my page. It will be downloaded, and I'll have it on YouTube later on today. But you will be able to learn why it is so important for fathers to be actively involved in the home, the importance of their commitment in reinforcing that positive behavior in their home. It's so important. And you know what? When we look at culture, for example, my mom was such an important role in the home, but of course my father, as soon as he says something, you want to listen. So fathers, can you imagine how much influence already that you have? So use that influence positively. And welcome, Lizzie. It's so good to have you. That's my friend from Abuja. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much. The conversation is civility and fatherhood. So thank you for sharing the post, my videos. Guys, you all are amazing. I can see all the shares. I can see all the likes, the hearts. Thank you so much. Like I stated before, we're back here again on Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And welcome, Monique. It's great to have you here. Thank you from Canada. We're very popular in Canada this morning. Thank you. Thank you all for being part of this session. We have come really to the end of the session, and I really hate to let you go. but I'm just going to make a few announcements just before I go. So I've been talking about the book study. We're going to get started with the book study very soon. So please grab your copy of the Civilized Leader. That's the only way you're going to be part of the book study. And usually we do the book studies, during lunchtime. A lot of people have been asking me of the lunchtime sessions. I'm ready to bring it back, but grab your copy of the book so that we can follow along and get things started. I do have the Poetic Civility here, Civility in Terms. And that's what we have for today. So of course, on Friday, we're back again with a really great topic on Friday. You do not want to miss it. This month is focused on effective parenting and youth development. Have you missed any of our sessions that we've shared throughout this month? Please go back to my page and please follow me on So Unique Experts on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, So Unique Experts. We are going to be coming up on Instagram a lot beginning from next month because I have good following on Instagram and they keep asking me for the videos and we have to download it and take it to Instagram. That's such a hassle. So we're just going to do it in real time and have it on Facebook, have it on Instagram, have it on YouTube. So we're going places. So thank you for being part of what we're doing and let me learn about the work that you do. And we have a comment from the audience from Sister Audrey. She said, I agree, both of the parents have to work together for the good of the children. Thank you so much. Yes, that is so true. And welcome, my friend Billy. It's good to have you in the house. We have just come to the end of the session. So, guys, please invite people to watch this video. Anyone around you who is struggling in an area of fatherhood, anyone around you who is struggling on really deciding or just what is their duty in the home. Some people do not even know what they should be doing in the home. You don't know what their priority is, what their assignment in the home is. They do not know. So we're ready to work with you. And that's why we share all this great content. We can work with you even outside the show. So send me an email, Louisa at the Civility Academy.com. And I also want to let you know that Mr. Akinola is on social media. He's on Facebook. He's everywhere. So just look for him, Akinropo Akinola. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on LinkedIn. He's everywhere. So connect with him. And every day, let me tell you, he shares great content every morning. I've been following him for quite a while. There's always something to learn on his page. So that's a page that you want to be visiting. And thank you so much, Vivian. It's so good to have you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again, guys. So I'll see you back here on Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day. Bye for now. And thank you so much, Mr. Akinola. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank
Thank
you.
you.